Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to Celebrate Art Therapy in Action. I am Mia Jackson, your host for tonight's event. And guys, look, I just want to tell you how I first got to know the Art Therapy Project. And it was last summer when I did their comedy night event. And I let me just, do you remember summer? Summer was a thing that last happened in 2019 because we did not have summer this year. So just been one whole long season. And I'll tell you how my summer's been going. This is a real conversation I had with my boyfriend just one day out of the blue. He looked at me and he said, "You know what? Your mustache is really not even that thick." And wow, I just went like, was that a conversation you were already having with somebody else? Because I don't think I was involved in that. So I was not happy about that conversation. Wasn't happy at all. But I'll tell you what I am happy about. I am happy to be here with you tonight because it's going to be a great night and we're going to hear some moving testimonials and inspiring messages, and it's going to be amazing. And in a little while, we're actually going to do some art together. That's right. You. We're doing art together. So, like, go ahead, like, grab some supplies if you have some, and I'll tell you what you need a little bit later. But just grab something. But it's going to be really fun. It's going to be interactive, and I'm just counting on you to be here with me to do that. Okay. So now on your screen, you will see a chat box over to your right. There's a chat box. You can jump on, you can ask questions, you can say hello, you can say anything that you want within reason, nothing crazy, because I think there might be some chat bouncers. I don't know, I didn't check, but there are people in the chat who will answer your questions. So you know, chat. All right. And also, there's a donate button. The donate button is right down here. Click through that button throughout the night. Okay. It's very simple. Just give me a reason to shout you out. Give me a reason to say your name. Give me a reason to say that you're the person that gave us 40 million thousand dollars. That's right. I just made up a number. So yeah, be that person. Because what do they say? What's that quote? The sweetest thing someone can hear is their own name. I guess that's what the quote is. I didn't write it, but I'm just saying you want to hear your name. So donate. Okay. And all the money that is raised tonight, every every single penny will support TeleArt Therapy for trauma survivors and frontline workers. Okay. So, last bit of housekeeping before we continue on. Remember how I said gather your art supplies? Mine are gathered. Okay. Art supplies, get something you can write with, get some paper. You see this? Grab a sheet of paper, markers, pencils, your kids' crayons, whatever you can find, and you'll need them in about 20 minutes. Okay. So get all that together. And also, just another thing that's important for you guys to know is that a gift of $35, just $35, will pay for an art supply kit to be sent to one of the Art Therapy Project's clients. So now, are you ready to get this evening officially started? Because we're about to kick things off, you guys. I am delighted to introduce Martha Dorn, Executive Director of the Art Therapy Project. Martha, take it away.
Thank you, Mia, and thank you so much for hosting tonight. The world has certainly turned upside down since we last saw you at our comedy night, and I have to say, it's really nice to see a familiar face. I'm Martha Dorn, the Executive Director of the Art Therapy Project, and I am thrilled to welcome you all to celebrate Art Therapy in Action, the kickoff to our 10-year anniversary. Just before New York was ordered to shelter in place, we were busy planning this event. My last two face-to-face meetings were with the venue and caterer. Suddenly, all of our attention switched to figuring out how to continue providing free art therapy to our hundreds of clients while in lockdown. Well, as you'll hear tonight, we did just that. While tonight's event looks nothing like the original event, we're so grateful to our sponsors who did not hesitate to renew their generous support. I want to extend our thanks and appreciation to David Rhodes, the School of Visual Arts, the Andrews Organization, and Orsid Realty. And to our newest sponsor, GalaStream, the brains behind tonight's streaming technology, thank you so much and welcome to the Art Therapy Project family. I also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the amazing event and marketing committee. This dedicated group of volunteers spent countless hours on Zoom designing and promoting this event. It has been an absolute joy to collaborate with this generous, creative, and can-do group. I'm sending each of you a big virtual hug and extra special thanks to Grace Lang, Rachel Evans, and Kelly and Naya. I want to give a big shout out to the incredible staff of the Art Therapy Project. This has truly been a team effort, and I want to recognize Lindsay, Joni, Josh, and Sharon for going above and beyond. You guys are all rock stars. Lastly, I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. Believe me, I know the thought of spending another hour in front of the computer is not always appealing, but I promise you this will be an hour well spent. You will hear inspirational stories and see client artwork made during the pandemic. You'll hear how art therapy has helped so many during this challenging time. And of course, you'll have the opportunity to make some art. So grab a glass of cheer, get comfortable, and celebrate art therapy in action. I'll be back later, but for now, it is my great pleasure to introduce David Wasserman, the Art Therapy Project's founder and chair, the person whose vision 10 years ago and commitment to helping others has brought us all together tonight. David?
Thanks, Martha, wherever you are, for that kind introduction. And thank all of you out there in virtual space for joining us tonight. We at the Art Therapy Project couldn't do what we do every day without the help and support of people like you, and we really appreciate it. I'm David Wasserman, founder of the Art Therapy Project. The idea behind the Art Therapy Project began over 10 years ago when the company I was working for was relocating its offices and needed to do a little interior decorating. So not knowing exactly what to do, I reached out to the School of Visual Arts, whose campus was just a few blocks away. I cold called the school and proposed to them that I donate our corporate art budget to the school for scholarships if they would donate student art back to us for use on our walls. As fate would have it, the person tasked with dealing with me at the school was the academic chair of the Art Therapy Master's Program. She probably thought I was totally nuts at the time, but when I asked her what art therapy was and she told me, I was fascinated and knew I had to find a way to get involved. So we launched a collaboration, as it turns out, with the Manhattan VA Hospital, whose building was just a few blocks down the street. At the time, women veterans who'd been sexually assaulted while serving their country had no place to go at the VA hospitals for therapy. And so we launched a weekly art therapy group for women veteran sexual assault survivors. That group was so successful that I decided right then and there to find a way to expand and formalize the idea. And the Art Therapy Project was born. But over these 10 years, in addition to that one group, we've now launched 34 additional groups, not just for women or for veterans, but for all sorts of marginalized populations, including men, women, and children. And while that first program partner was the Manhattan VA Hospital, we're now working with over 24 organizations and hospitals spread across the city. We're now serving over 1,000 clients a year who get free art therapy from us every week. I have to say, my original vision for the Art Therapy Project didn't contemplate providing art therapy online. But you got to roll with the punches. And given the pandemic restrictions, we had to pivot to meet the needs of the community and the clients we serve. We're running 10 weekly teletherapy sessions, and it really seems to be helping. We're very pleased. We all know that this pandemic has created an extra level of stress in our communities and across the world. And that's especially true for marginalized populations where the need for mental health services has never been more urgent. I'm proud that in the 10 years since the Art Therapy Project has been operating, we've become so well known and well established in the communities that we serve for our unique mental health services. We are getting more requests from organizations and clients for our help and for our services than we can possibly meet. So we have to put them on a waiting list. We have no choice. I guess if there was one wish I could have for the Art Therapy Project, it would be that in the future, we were able to build the financial resources so that we could serve 100% of the organizations and clients who came to us for help. And I know with the help of people like you tonight and in the future, we're going to get there. So now let me turn it over to Mia. Enjoy the evening and thank you for coming.
Thank you, David. And guys, this organization does amazing work. So, make sure you go ahead and donate. And guys, I have my first shout out for the evening. Meg Dodge donated $500, everybody. So, yay! I will imagine that I am hearing you clapping along with me. So, Meg, thank you so much for your donation. And I just want to say also, everybody, you're amazing because we're well on our way to our $50,000 goal. We're over $42,000 right now, everybody. So keep it coming. Keep it coming. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And you know what? I think it's time that we actually hear a little bit about what art therapy actually is. So our next speaker is an art therapist known across the globe for all the work that she does with active military and with veterans who've experienced post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injuries. Her work has been featured in publications from medical journals to National Geographic. And she's also a fellow Georgia girl like me. So I am pleased to introduce Melissa Walker.
Hello, I am Alyssa Walker, and I am an art therapist who has worked with military service members, veterans, and their families and caregivers for over 12 years. When I first learned of art therapy as a profession, I immediately knew it was something I wanted to pursue, as it merges my love for both psychology and art, and also helped me answer my call to help others. During my graduate studies in art therapy, I gravitated towards the study and treatment of trauma. I believe this was in great part due to having a grandfather who struggled with post-traumatic stress after being wounded in the Korean War. Once I began working with military service members and veterans, it became apparent that art therapy is an especially effective treatment for post-traumatic stress, enabling the participant to visually express that which they may not have been able to verbalize before. Over time, researchers have learned that individuals who have experienced trauma have a shutdown in the speech-language area of the brain. Art making helps to bypass this issue and taps into the sensory areas of the brain. And during art therapy, then allows the service member or veteran to process the meaning behind the work with the art therapist. So many of the men and women I have worked with have created powerful works of art which integrate themes surrounding their identities, wartime experiences, and injuries. It is not a rare occurrence to have a service member look up from their creation and say, "Oh my gosh, here it all is in one place." Suddenly, they have been given the power to take hold of all that is stored in their minds and physically express the content using meaningful symbols and metaphors. Art therapy allows them to look inward from another perspective and then begin to feel comfortable opening up about their thoughts and feelings with others, starting with the therapist. The acknowledgement of their wartime experiences and injuries by their therapists, peers, and family members is especially important when treating invisible wounds of war, such as post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury. It validates their pain and highlights their growth and resilience, which aids in lessening the feelings of isolation associated with coming home from war or leaving military service. Having access to treatments like art therapy is crucial for our service members and veterans, as group work helps to reconnect them to the community, to each other, and to society at large. Through art therapy research, I have found that when active duty service members in particular represent their military unit in a positive or cohesive way, they are more likely to have lower post-traumatic stress, anxiety, and depression. These findings continue to support that a strong sense of community and belonging is a protective factor for these men and women. When service members, veterans, first responders, really any individual who has been exposed to trauma, are offered mental health treatment by organizations such as the Art Therapy Project, they find a new community which allows for them to express themselves through creativity in a safe way, a community in which they no longer feel alone. I'm so appreciative to know that the Art Therapy Project has reached thousands of individuals in need, including military service members and veterans, and I'm grateful to be a part of this important event. Thank you. And now, back to Mia.
Thank you, Melissa. And for my viewers, did you catch what Melissa said about art therapy and how it can help with feelings of isolation and can also build resilience? So it seems to me that art therapy is something that we can all benefit from, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, from the pandemic to natural disasters, just everything. I said natural and national. That means slip of the tongue. I probably meant it. So, okay. But also there's the election. So there's a lot going on. And again, it's something that we can all benefit from. So guys, are you looking at the thermometer? It's going up. And you know what that means? That means I have another shout out. This is for Michelle and Mark Goldfarb. $2,000. So that means you are a superstar. You're superstars. So thank you guys. All right. So now that we've heard the basics about what art therapy is, let's actually see art therapy in action. So the Art Therapy Project usually has a number of client art exhibitions throughout the year, but because of COVID, they have been canceled. And the Art Therapy Project always puts their clients' needs and well-being above all else. And they created the first virtual client art expedition titled Sifting Through the Now. And so tonight, you guys are in for a special treat. So you'll get to preview some of the artwork that the clients have made while they've been in lockdown, and you'll also get to hear them share some of their stories. So you're about to see 2 pieces of client artwork, and then you're going to hear from Dr. David Guggenheim he's a chief behavioral health director from Callen-Lorde, and that's one of the Art Therapy Project's program partners. And Callen-Lorde provides healthcare and related services to New York's LGBT communities, regardless of their ability to pay.
This piece is called Conflict Run, Danger Hide. And it's really all about COVID time. It's a piece I made in an art therapy session through the telehealth art therapy project. And to me, it's so immediate. I think the pieces I'm working on now in art therapy have less planning of finding images that I really like and holding on to them and incorporating them with the pieces I find in the studio, which are often brought in by the therapist, or I actually had a whole stash of photos that I was using. But what I love about this is that this is really what it's about. There's a huge amount of conflict. The COVID is so incredibly scary. There's so much danger. It's been 6 months now, and I feel like it's in New York City, where we seem to be the testing. The people testing positive for COVID is so low. It just feels like there's so much danger. I just love the image of the cat hiding in the coat, looking for safety. So I think that's what I'm trying to do, is looking for safety. I think I also used an image of the demonstrations. I just find that it's been such an upsetting, such a scary time to live through. There's never been anything like this. It's just like everything is just turned upside down on its head. And I really, what I really want to do is run and hide and pull my covers up over my head. But I have to get up in the morning and start a new day and take care of myself and people who I care about.
This particular piece is titled America in Crisis. When I was doing it, it portrays some of the difficult times we all Americans are facing. This particular piece of art was done on white paper. I used a X-Acto knife to cut out the figures that you see. And then afterwards, I placed the white paper on top of a black background, which created the figure that I had cut out. It portrays a lot of the things that are going on. The killing of civilians by the COVID-19, the many deaths that are going on and are still continuing. It also conveys demonstrators, fire, looting, and the killing of a civilian by a police. Some of the figures, for example, like the hand, is someone calling out for help. And the circles with convey the virus that is going all over the world. There's so many people that have died, and I am worried about the future of this country, of what's going on. I created the big triangles, top left, as an entrance, and the other one on the bottom right-hand corner as an exit to the nightmare that so many people in this country are going through. I feel very strong about everything that I have here in this piece of art, and I'm happy with it.
Hi, I'm Dave Guggenheim. I'm Chief Behavioral Health Officer at Callen-Lorde Community Health Center. Callen-Lorde provides 18,000 LGBTQ New Yorkers each year with primary care, behavioral health, substance use, dental, and case management services. In addition to providing those services, we've partnered with the Art Therapy Project to provide our patients with free art therapy groups. These services are so crucial to our patient population. You know, LGBTQ New Yorkers are far more likely to have experienced trauma. We see a lot of patients coming into our clinics with trauma and needing help. And we can help them. We have traditional talk therapy on site. We're able to provide them with psychiatry services, but some folks just need more. And we're able to provide additional services such as art therapy through the Art Therapy Project. Services for patients with trauma are tricky. Sometimes patients can't adequately express themselves in traditional talk therapy. Sometimes it's difficult to address what's really going on in their life through the traditional means that we have available to us. And that's why our partnership with the Art Therapy Project is so crucial to our patients. It's important that we are able to continue this partnership for years to come, and the feedback we get from patients is overwhelmingly positive. I just want to take a moment to thank the Art Therapy Project for all that you do for our patients, especially our most vulnerable patients who need LGBTQ sensitive and affirming art therapy in a group format. We couldn't do the work we do without you, and we're so thankful for our partnership with you. Have a great day.
Well, I think that seeing that artwork was very powerful. And for me, hearing the client's thought process and just their mindset as they created the art, it was very moving for me. And I hope that it was moving for you. And I hope that you're inclined to make a donation to help fund this remarkable work. And have another shout out. And you know, I have established at this point, I like shout outs. So thank you, Jason Zaffarana and Michael Millette, for your $250 gift. And a gift of $250 will fund a TeleArt therapy session. And a gift of $100 will pay for an entire month of the souped up Zoom platform to hold on these art therapy groups. So donate. I'm pointing down, you guys. I'm pointing. Okay, so seeing all this makes me want to do some art and also donate. But I know you're ready for some art, right? Because that's what we talked about. I mentioned this earlier. So do you have your materials ready? Just a reminder, I got my stuff ready. I got my paper ready. Okay, so you should be ready. I gave you a warning. I am pleased to introduce Lindsay Lederman, the clinical director of the Art Therapy Project. So Lindsay is going to guide all of us, including me, through an art making experience. Hey, Lindsay.
Hi, Mia, and hi, everyone at home. Thank you guys for joining us. We are going to be doing an art experience together, and this was created for twofold. One, to help us connect a little bit with our clients and what they're going through, and the virtual exhibit that we have going on called Sifting Through the Now. The title came from the Greek root of the word to sift, or the Greek word krosis. I'm so sorry, I'm nervous, which means to sift or to separate. So we're going through a crisis. We're all living, as Mia mentioned, in a pandemic, but it's really forced us to look at what's important to us, what has come to the surface, the people, places, and things that matter the most. Since we're all going through it, let's do art together to kind of learn how to cope a little bit and see what happens in an art therapy session. So let me show you, Mia. Yeah, get ready, Mia. This is the final product. This is what you're going to end up with. And everyone at home, just remember, art therapy is about the creative process, using this art to express yourself. You don't have to make something perfect or beautiful, but just take a risk and come with us on this trip.
Okay,
all right,
I am ready.
Yes, all right,
everyone's
ready. So yeah, we're starting with paper. Everyone's probably got a piece of paper that's a rectangle, but we're going to be doing origami, which requires a square. So the first thing that everyone should do is take this top corner and fold it down so the edges meet here, and get rid of your bottom portion. And just cut it right off, or if you don't have scissors, you could tear it. Yep. Right down. Yep, exactly. So that bottom portion, yeah, we could just cut right off.
Because I have scissors, because I knew that my tearing skills would be very embarrassing. So I am cutting to make things easy, and I have a square. I'm following directions.
First step, you got it. And I hope everyone else has their square. And we're going to do the kind of art part of this. So we're going to do some writing, we're going to do some art making, and then we're going to do some folding. So as I mentioned, today's exercise is really to connect us all, both with our clients and also with ourselves, and how we're getting through this. So on one side of your page, I want you to write down a few words that, as I mentioned before, when we think about the word crisis, the Greek roots means to sift or to separate. What has shown itself to you as being really important during this time? The people, the activities, nature, the connections you have both with yourself, time alone, and with the people that you can connect with over Zoom or in person. So jot down a few things that come to mind as I'm talking about that. And when you're done, you're going to flip your page over, and I just have this represented with some green, but you're going to use whatever you have there, the pens, the markers, your kids' crayons, anything you have, and you're going to draw the representation of some of those things. And when I say representation, that could be anything. There's no right and wrong. So it can be squiggly lines, it can be symbols, you can have stick figures. There's no wrong way to do this. Try and be kind to yourself, judgment-free zone, and do your artwork on the other side. And we'll have a few minutes to get that on your page.
Ooh, so while I'm drawing and writing things, I do have some questions for you, which just for myself, and I think for the viewers, I think it'll be helpful. So, how do you decide what type of like art making that you will do with a client?
Sure. Yeah. So every session looks a little different, and art therapists usually work one of two ways: an open studio model, which we have clients come in and we might check in with them verbally to see where everyone's at that day, and then they choose their own supplies and materials that kind of speak to them that day. And it's still the art therapist is there guiding and supporting them throughout the session. The other type of approach is a directive-based approach. And that's when the art therapist will come in with a very specific directive, either with a material like mask making or collage that might also coincide with a theme like exploring the inner self or safe space. And it depends on what the client's goals are for that day, and the supplies and the directive will relate to that.
Right. And let's see, I've decided I'm gonna use my various colors because I'm like, hey, I have all these supplies. Why not get crazy?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see how much marker I can. That's why I got washable markers, because I know how I am. So this is what I needed for my life. And let's see. Okay, and then I think this is another thing that I think people want to know: what type of supplies? Like, what do you? Because, like I said, I'm using washable markers. How do you decide what a client's going to work with?
That's a great question, because in art therapy, we use everything. Markers, crayons, paints, clay, magazine pictures, metal, wood. Found objects on the street. I mean, anything can be used in art therapy. So, the way it's approached is really on a spectrum, from like really controlled materials to really loose materials when you think of controlled, like colored pencils or pen. So it's very containing. It's really helpful for people who are coming in who just need that level of control. And then the looser materials along the spectrum can really support a more visceral sensory experience, which can help people connect with more inner feelings and deeper experiences. So we'll kind of work with each person, not, oh, wow, you got something real good. Oh, I hope everyone else does too. That's awesome, Mia. So yeah, we work again with like what a client's needs are and try and work with them around what they're comfortable with in the materials, and also, what they should be kind of moving towards.
Great. Cool.
So maybe we're ready for our next step.
I think I'm ready.
So we have our square. Origami can be frustrating. So hang with me. I use origami sometimes in art therapy sessions because it builds frustration tolerance. So we get frustrated all the time. We can't control that. And certainly now, like, so much is so frustrating. And so I hope this builds our ability to tolerate some of that. So first of all, this should be a quick, easy one. Corner to corner and corner to corner. And these are just for your reference, and I have little black dots just to show you, but it'll make an X. And we're not gonna press real hard. We're just gonna leave it open like our square. And we just want to use those lines for reference. So that's a quick fold that hopefully everyone's still with me. I know Mia's got it. What do we have next? Okay, so we're going to have our square, and you're going to open it up and take this bottom point and fold it to the middle reference line, right to the middle. And what's really important is that fold becomes really tight. So swipe your finger across there, really get it to hold, because we want that fold to stay for the remainder of the project. So that's your bottom fold. That's your next one.
And while I'm in the midst of folding, can I ask you 10 million more questions?
Oh my gosh, please, please. I love your question.
So how long do you usually work with the client?
Right. So at the Art Therapy Project, we have clients that come in, stay with us for a few months of treatment and feel they've been really helped and say thank you so much and take what they've learned and move on with their lives. You know, they've established new parts of themselves and readiness to either return to a better sense of self or onto their next journey. We've also had clients that stay with us for years and years and years. What's really, I mean, so special about the Art Therapy Project is we don't close our doors. Even when someone is ready to leave and they go and something happens in their life that they get like re-triggered by, they can always come back, and they do. I've had a number of clients who say, you know, I had this issue and I feel like I need to like reset and get grounded and come back to art therapy, and we're always like, please come back. Doors are always open.
Warm, welcoming place.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it.
All right, so we have our fold, and then we're going to take our top corner and fold it all the way to the bottom. Now, as you're doing that, again, really press that down. And just as a reminder, which I forgot to mention, I have my sample, meaning my words are on the inside and the drawings are on the outside. So whichever way you fold, one part will be inside and one part will be outside. So just keep that in mind, because it's a really special metaphor in art therapy about inside and what we keep to ourselves and what's on the outside that we share with the world. So think for yourself what feels right for you. So you have this kind of funny boat shape.
Ooh.
Yours looks like mine.
Lindsay, guess what I just found out?
What?
Lindsay, we have broken the $50,000 mark. We've broken the goal. Hey,
Thank
hey,
you all
hey.
so much. Oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you from everyone, all our supporters. That's incredible.
Yeah, donate. Keep donating, guys.
Yes. Oh my
we
God.
surpass goals around here. We meet and we surpass.
It's your art. It's your art that's doing it. All right. We have our funny shape here. All right. Our next up is where this gets tricky. So hang with me. So you have actually turn yours upside down because you want your big flap to be pointing up. Yeah. So everyone at home too, that big flap we just did should be pointing up. And we're going to, you can see my reference lines. We're going to fold the sides to our middle reference line. Boop, boop, just like that. So once again, you're going to take this edge and fold it to meet the middle line, that reference line, and fold the other side. So again, your top point, the big point's facing up, and you're going to go meet them in the middle. And you'll have a little flap, and that's okay. It's a little peek inside your heart, and you should have this kind of, yep, exactly like what Mia has.
I'm learning. I'm doing things.
You got your heart, you have your flap in front, and we'll move on to the final two steps. And these are easy. Everyone should be able to get this. I hope you're staying with me. And remember, if your heart doesn't look like mine, Mia's, it's totally fine. What you come up with is going to be yours, and it'll be great. All right, so with our flap like this, we're going to take our points and fold them back so you can't see them. So see that again. You're going to take this point and fold it back, and this point. So this is what it looks like on the back, like that. And that way, you're starting to see more of a heart there, right? Excellent. Final step, Mia.
Okay, I'm ready.
At home. Your little cat ears you have up here, we're going to fold those down too. Those little triangles, you're going to fold them back. So the back of your heart should look just like that. And the front should look like this. So when you see your final heart, what do you think, Mia?
You know what? I'm pretty pleased with myself. I usually try to, I get very carried away and I'm always stressed out about things. So it's nice to go like, wow, I did it. I followed directions.
It's great. And everyone there at home, I hope you have your little creation, your little representation of what really has shown to yourself what matters the most during this time. When we work with clients, we tell them like something you've created like this, find a good spot to keep it, pull it out when you need a reminder, whether it's on your nightstand or in your pocket or your purse, keep it with you. And certainly you can always come back to this link and do the art experience again if you want to make more hearts. They're good little gifts to give as well. So thanks for taking the journey with me, Mia, and everyone else. Yeah, so I want to now introduce you to one of our program partners, New Destiny Housing. We've been working with them for a little over 5 years, and they are an incredible organization. They provide affordable housing and support services to domestic violence survivors and their children. Over the years, we've worked with kids in 3 of their different sites, and we're about to restart 2 of them since the hiatus due to the pandemic. So what you're about to see and hear from 2 of the New Destiny Housing staff reflects some of the challenges that many of our partner organizations have, which is a lack of resources and a lack of space. So bear with us. The audio quality of their videos might not be what you expect, but really listen to their stories and how they talk about the kids in our art therapy groups. And following their presentation, we'll reveal 2 more pieces of client artwork from our Sifting Through the Now virtual exhibit. And now, Isa Martinez-McDonald and Louise James.
Hi, my name is Isa Martinez and I am the Housing Services Director at New Destiny Housing. New Destiny Housing provides permanent housing for survivors of domestic violence coming out of the domestic violence shelter system in New York City. We provide services on site for families in our buildings, all of whom struggle to make ends meet. Housing alone is not enough to ensure they remain safe and stable in their homes. Without support, survivors often find themselves homeless again and caught in the continuing cycle of poverty and abuse. The art therapy projects have always been impactful, joyful, and fun for our children. We have been working with the art therapy project for the last 5 years, and in that time, 178 of our children have benefited from receiving the art therapy services. We are very grateful to have this partnership with the art therapy project and value the work of the art therapists bring to our children at our sites, all of whom have witnessed domestic violence, may suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, ADHD, and some of them are on the spectrum of autism. Lastly, I wanted to say thank you, and we look forward to continuing our collaboration with the Art Therapy Project. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Louise McNee, and I'm the Tenant Support Coordinator at the Bainbridge, Brooklyn site, one of the sites where we receive services from the Art Therapy Program. The children look forward to Ms. Gemma coming every Monday at 6 p.m. Actually, this is the same room where the children meet before Ms. Gemma arrives. About 5 students are here before she even gets here. The children are very excited to show off all the projects they did with Ms. Gemma, and they always look forward to coming down and participating. We are so grateful for the services you provide for our children, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
This is my piece, How Then Shall We Live? Disenfranchised populations have been traumatized by the vagaries and ineptitudes of this morally corrupt government's mishandling and misinforming the nation during the emergence of COVID-19 and its aftermath, rendering our lives in rigidity and chaos, states of frozen numbness and anxious unpredictability. If, following this exhibition's theme and taking the surgical mask as sieve and sifting all controversy stemming from it, what are we left with, and for how long? How then shall we live? I believe through resilience and integration, we will live the answer. The Art Therapy Project has provided the safe space to engage these ideas, to focus and reflect on what matters most to me, and challenged me to find my voice through creative expression. I am sincerely grateful to participate in this superlative program.
This piece is called "You Have to Let Go to Move On," and it's purely images and words from the newspapers. I've been dealing with PTSD, and everything is so triggering. COVID, but particularly when the riots and the looting occurred in New York City after George Floyd's death, that was incredibly traumatizing to me. I mean, I identify with this city. I've lived here my entire life, and to see so much damage is just incredibly hard for me. And to me, almost every day, to be honest, is like an acid trip, or like a bad trip. And I'm just, trying to find my ground in all of this. The COVID-19, political unrest, environmental disasters of fires out west, and hurricanes, and I think for everyone, all of us, not just people who've had traumas and have, PTSD or other problems, I think we're just all looking to survive. But the having such a long-term lockdown is also very, very intense. I think it's really helpful to have art therapy, because at least there's something to help figure this out and express it quickly. As an artist, working on studio pieces is nice, but developing something over the long term really isn't as satisfying as sitting down and making something quickly and expressing it and kind of getting out these, thoughts, feelings, fears, whatever you have it. It's really, I think this is really so important to have this.
Hey, everybody, the thermometer is going up. It's still growing, even though we've hit the goal. Yay. Okay, I got excited. But I do want to say that the client artwork and their messages are incredible. And just even seeing that, I wrote it down, just you have to let go to move on, like that really just, it spoke to me. And it just made me realize that, I'm on the right path. I'm doing okay. So I needed to hear that. And I also want to give a different shout out. This is a shout out to all of the art therapists that are watching tonight. The work is really important. You guys are amazing. So thank you. And I just want to, kind of go back to the activity with Lindsay. Like after making that heart, I feel good. And I said it to her, but I do just want to say again, I do feel really accomplished, because it's just, my mom and I were just having this conversation where she's like, you always wanted to make things super, super perfect. So it felt good to go, wow, like I just, just hearing her words saying just like, you don't have to focus on that. Just be kind to yourself. And so that's what I took away from that. And so I feel really, really good about that. And I'm going to try to be kind to myself a lot more. And I think you should too. So let's get back to business. If you donate $500, you will be funding a wellness workshop for frontline workers. And that's something that I think they've all earned. And I think you would agree with that. And what's been my favorite thing this whole night? Shout outs, you guys. So I have more. So I got Michael and Big Joan Karemi. Thank you. And Sue Rubin, an art therapist from the UK. you're a VIP. So thank you so much for your generosity. So we really do appreciate it. And we're now going to hear from one last program partner, New Alternatives for Children, also known as NAC. And NAC works with some of the most vulnerable children and families who are living in poverty, have severe disabilities, chronic illness, or mental health diagnoses. And they've experienced or they are at risk of experiencing abuse and or neglect. So Rachel St. John, who works with children, and Samantha Callahan of NAC's Kinship Care Program, you'll hear from them next.
Hi, my name is Rachel St. John, and I'm the Assistant Director of Youth Development Services at New Alternatives for Children, also called NAC. NAC is a child welfare agency working with medically fragile children and their families. I reached out to Art Therapy Project back in 2013 as I was starting up a new youth development program at NAC for preteens in foster care and preventative services. I was doing research to find different community organizations and opportunities that would be interesting, fun, and resourceful for our kids as I was starting up this program. And I still remember the surprise and excitement I felt at how quick and responsive Martha and her team were to follow up with me and to invite me to their organization to learn all about the wonderful work they do at Art Therapy Project. 7 years later, I'm happy to say that we continue to be partners. Over the years, I've been very lucky to observe the wonderful work that the art therapists do with their clients, and I can tell how genuine and passionate they are about servicing youth in need. Most recently, Art Therapy Project has been providing telehealth services to our clients, which has been a wonderful resource and opportunity to keep our kids engaged, to stimulate their minds, give them some socialization opportunities during this uncertain and confusing time. I truly am very grateful for Art Therapy Project and the wonderful work that they've done for our families, and I look forward to our continued years of collaboration together.
Hello everyone, my name is Samantha Callahan, Director of the Family Permanency Center here at New Alternatives for Children, also known as NAC. The Art Therapy Project has been providing our caregivers with art therapy for the last 4 years. Our caregivers are so grateful for this amazing positive experience that they have gained through the art therapists who have provided them with a safe space to get the emotional support that they need. The benefits of the program have been endless. Caregivers have expressed feeling confident, feeling empowered, feeling hopeful about tomorrow. They have also been able to create meaningful connections within the group, learn to cope with stressful situations, and most importantly, express their thoughts and feelings through the process of art. Thank you so much, Art Therapy Project, for your continued collaboration.
I'm back, you guys, and I have more great news. We have broken $56,000. I'm just imagining that you all are doing the same thing that I'm doing. Okay, so just so you guys know, from what you just saw, NAC works with everyone from kids to grandparents, which is just like the Art Therapy Project. And I was amazed to learn that the Art Therapy Project's clients range in age from 5 to over 80. Did you know that? Did you know that? And I just want to let you know that's really good news for me because of 2020. I am now 97 years old. So 97, that means I'm over 80. So I'm still in the client range and I'm very excited about that. And this is how I know I have aged over this year because I'm gonna let you in on a secret. This is not my hair. This is a streaming wig, okay? This is a streaming wig covering up my gray hair. It's covering up all my grays. I'm just telling you what's going on. So I got some more news. Got another shout out because you know how we do by now. I love shout outs. And this next group does not have to worry about putting on streaming wigs to cover their hair because this is a group of young professionals who I want to shout out. I want to thank them for supporting the Art Therapy Project. So Justin, Sarah, Lauren, Aaron, Maria, all of you, thank you so much. Okay. So you guys, we have learned what art therapy is, and we learned how it's helping people deal with COVID and dealing with the pandemic and isolation and just everything else that we are being challenged by these days. And we've seen some amazing client artwork, and we got to make some art ourselves. I thought I had my heart like right here, but I don't know what I did with it, but I have it. So you should still have yours. So we're in the home stretch, and what I want you to do is top off your glass and listen up, as we're going to hear from a remarkable woman who turned therapeutic art making into a successful business, and she has supported the Art Therapy Project for years. So you are now going to hear from Alyssa Wasko, the founder of DONNI, which is wearing a DONNI sweater tonight. So, hey.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Wasko. I am the designer and founder of fashion brand DONNI and a longtime supporter and fan of the Art Therapy Project. I was introduced back in 2016, and for me, it was such an immediate connection. My entire business started and stemmed from the loss of my father and kind of looking to creativity as an outlet and a coping mechanism. And I think that, that immediately drew me to the project. And because I'm such a believer of art being a just powerful healing tool. And since then, we've partnered in many different ways over the past couple of years. We've made custom scarves and, different items to raise both awareness and just to fundraise for the Art Therapy Project. I also had the amazing opportunity to teach a scarf painting class with some women veterans, which was such a magical experience that I will never forget. I think hearing their stories and hearing how art has really helped them heal and taken them to such a new place, it's pretty incredible. So I've had the opportunity to do so many interesting things and learn so much and, be able to support, in some small way, however we can. Right now, we're talking about doing a hand embroidery class virtually with some pretty special women that are sexual assault survivors. So that's kind of our next thing. And, I think I'm just so connected to the Art Therapy Project. And I think as long as my brand is still around, we will, constantly be a friend of the Art Therapy Project and there to kind of help and, support however we can. But I'm so grateful, for all that Art Therapy Project does for so many different people, and that we are just around to kind of watch and be there and be a friend. So thank you guys for everything that you do, and amazing night.
Alyssa, thank you so much. We love you, and thank you for your commitment to the Art Therapy Project. I remember the scarf painting workshop that you ran for the female vets, and it was amazing. Everyone loved it, and I just know that the people who participate in the workshop you're planning now, they're going to love it. They always love making art. I love making art. I made my heart tonight. Did you guys make your heart? See, I did it. I played along. So, I started with the Art Therapy Project 10 years ago, and I have been continually amazed and humbled by the work that our clients and our art therapists have done together. I have been told by our clients and their friends and families how truly life-changing the art therapy has been for them. I remember at our first client art exhibition, one of our client's fiancés walked over to me and thanked me for saving her fiancé's life, and mind-blowing. I will certainly never forget the first story a client shared with me. And it was after she turned down the advances of her commanding officer, and he knocked her unconscious with the butt of his rifle and proceeded to rape her. And she was left with a traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress, and also military sexual trauma. And so following that, she was given a dishonorable discharge from the Army for having mental health issues. So when she told me that the 90 minutes a week she spent in art therapy was the only time she was pain-free, I knew we were doing the right thing. I've been fortunate to hear other client stories as well. There is the young man who was finally able to come to terms with the fact he had been sexually abused by a family member when he was just a little boy over and over again. And then there was a client who was badly burned in a freak accident. He finally found the courage to venture outside again, even though he had a heavily scarred face. And then there was the 9/11 survivor who told me that it was only after art therapy that she was able to find the courage to go down to ground zero for the first time. And that was 15 years after the towers fell. So we are fortunate to be able to do what we do. I have had a front row seat to the amazing progress that thousands of clients have done over the last 10 years. And it's because of all of you guys. There's no question we can't do what we do without you. I truly want to thank every individual and foundation and company and volunteer group who supported our efforts over the years, because truly, regardless of the gift size, it makes a difference. I cannot tell you how hopeful I feel when I was watching the thermometer go up all night. It's just here and there, and I'm hoping that now it's going off and we're seeing lots of fireworks, because that would be great. Because right now we are all facing unbelievable challenges between the pandemic and the social injustices, the natural disasters, and oh my gosh, these parents that are juggling work and homeschooling. And as Mia mentioned, that election thing that's coming up. As Lindsay said, we are all living through a crisis. And during these last 6 months, the Art Therapy Project has worked tirelessly to make sure that people who don't usually have access to mental health services had access to art therapy. Again, we can't do it without you. As David mentioned earlier, the demand is increasing, and truly it's no wonder with the isolation and anxiety and stress that everyone is living with these days. It is being hit in neighborhoods, low-income neighborhoods, as well as communities of color, more so than anywhere. And we need to step it up. We need to meet the demand. We absolutely have to expand our programming for frontline workers. They certainly deserve the programming as well. And we can't do it alone. We need you. And I know that we went over that magic 50,000, which thrills me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every bit helps. The more we raise tonight, the more work we can do. And we're not busy enough. So please, by all means, do what you can. We appreciate it. We want to share one last piece of client artwork with you tonight. Please listen to our client's words. He is so hopeful despite what's going on. And I think that you will truly enjoy what he has to say. And following that, Mia will be back to wrap things up.
This piece is, I have titled Self-Portrait. Was created with color cutout paper. What I wanted to convey with this piece is the happiness this piece portrays by its color and of a fan-out peacock. It is exactly what the art therapy group has brought to me. Creativity, friendliness with all the rest of the group, learning from Josh and Lindsay, two excellent therapists. I have been in the art therapy group for the last 6 months, and it has helped me tremendously in my way, that the way that I am. I consider myself a, loner, don't have too many friends or anything like that, but the art therapy group has taught me differently, and it has created, I have created friends with the group, and also it has enhanced my creativity by the art sessions that we have, and it has made me feel happy. It has made me feel that I needed something like this to be able to create a lot of artwork. I have found the art therapy group to be an excellent place for me to become more whole and have friends.
Oh my God, everybody. This has been an amazing evening. And while Martha was speaking, you guys were busy with the donation button. So I have to give some more shout outs. And Elise Rosenfield for her $500 gift, Nancy Fryer for a gift of $100, and Lynn Barnes Leahy, thank you for your $250 gift. So thank you guys. And also, what's the other news? One, the thermometer. Come on, you see it's up and over at this point. We have raised over $60,000. So thank you. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for being here tonight. And on behalf of the Art Therapy Project, I want to thank Melissa Walker, Alyssa Wasko, and all of our other speakers who contributed to tonight's events. And I hope you feel like this was an hour well spent. And because really, what else were you going to be doing on a Wednesday night during COVID? This was a great hour well spent. This was a great use of your time. We all have hearts now, paper hearts. All right, I went too far. Okay, but we're here now. So again, thank you so much. Your generosity will help the Art Therapy Project continue running the TeleArt Therapy groups and develop programs for frontline workers. You can come back and watch me again, make another heart, donate again, click the same link that you used tonight. Thank you again. Make sure you vote. And good night, everybody. Thank you.